Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Easter. Let's see who all we've got in the chat. We got Joe Stillwater, Dex, Jason C, Wolfman. Who else is in here? Okay,
Hit my volume.
I need to mute my volume on the
Oh, was
laptop.
that
Hold on one
you?
second. Yeah, there we go.
I thought that was me.
Happy's in the house. Well, so how's everybody doing? How's everybody's Easter? Hopefully we don't lose the live stream connection this week. I'm real sorry about last week. We lost the connection, and
And it all went downhill from there.
it all went downhill from there. But this week's going to be pretty exciting. I think we made our brandy, the brandy that we did a few weeks back, the frozen berry brandy that we mashed. We ran it through the still a few days ago. Turned out really good. It smelled kind of funny. Like I haven't done a whole lot of. I'm gonna need that, hun.
Hello.
Okay. I haven't done a whole lot of brandy, and this one it smelled funny, so I was a bit worried how it was going to turn out. But it actually turned out pretty good as I was kind of tasting as it was coming off the still and making some cuts. It was pretty daggum good. So I'm pretty excited about it now. We're gonna blend it today. I've got one jar that I'm a little bit, not sure about. So Winsong and I are both gonna sip on that jar and decide if we're gonna put it in, and then
You
we're
want me
gonna
to sip on that on an empty stomach?
yeah, and then add cherry juice after Winsong kind of tasted the still. She said cherry juice is what we're going to put in it, and I trust her taste buds a lot more than I trust my own. So I got some cherry juice, and that's what we're going to use to back sweeten and proof it down. So I'm kind of hoping that the proof, pardon me, kind of hoping that the proof comes out around 120, 125 after we've blended our cuts, and then I want to proof it down to somewhere between 80 and 90. I'm gonna show you guys for those of you that aren't sure, how do you proof down to a specific target. If you have a proof that's 120, you want 90, you're adding something that has no alcohol or low alcohol, add it together to get that target proof. How do you do that? I've got a diagram here on the whiteboard for something called the square method. Some people call it the box method. And it's a really simple method for proofing things down to a target. It is not exact, and so you get close, but it doesn't take into account things that affect a proof. So you have an effect when you add alcohol to water that it actually compresses, and so you end up with less volume. Like if you take 1 gallon of water and 1 gallon of alcohol and add it together, you don't end up with 2 gallons. You end up with less, and it's slight, but it's something. And so that affects proof. And then you also have, since we're adding juice, we're adding something with sugar, which will affect our hydrometer reading. And so this method can't get you to an exact proof, but it gets you right in the ballpark real close. So it's good enough. It's the simplest way to do it, and it's close enough for me. So I'm going to kind of run through that. Let's see if we got anything going on in the chat.
Lance is here. Rooster's here.
Lance is here. Happy Easter, Lance. Jay Fisher, chores done. Sun's up. Warm resurrection day. Okay, Beaver is in the house, man. Hey, what are you up to, Beaver? Love your channel, brother. Let's see. I need to get rid of something on my screen that's distracting me. Rooster's in the house. Good morning. Kenneth's in the house. Good morning. Glad you guys are here. Glad you made it. John Lee, happy Easter. So Yeah, I don't know who all is in here that was or was not here last week, but last week we dropped our live stream and we didn't get to finish our, dadgummit, wort chiller. We didn't get to finish it. So after we've done our blending and made our cherry berry brandy, I don't know what we're going to call it, then we're going to finish the wort chiller and then we're going to call it a day. Ked Hall says, I would love to chat with you about bubble plate column. Okay, this is not going to be the live stream for it. And actually, if you want to chat about bubble plates, what you should do is jump on over into our Moonshine for Beginners group. There's several people in there that are using bubble plates on a regular basis. I don't, and they would be really helpful. So, Ked, are you in the Moonshine for Beginners group over at MeWe.com or at Volley? We have two spaces that we use. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing the links for those groups. I'm going to drop them in the chat. This first one is for the MeWe group. It's free to join, and we're talking moonshine and stills and all that kind of stuff all day long over there.
He said he can't get it to work.
Do what?
He can't get it to work.
Cooking up sweet feed mash now, Pappy says. All right. No, can't get it to work, Ken Harrison. I'm not sure what that means. If you can't get it to work, I'd have to know a little bit more. If I can help you get it to work, I will certainly do that. But I got to know more. Let's see, copy. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop in the link for our Volley space. Can't connect. Are you talking about the Volley or are you talking about the MeWe? Uncle Charlie's in the house. What's up?
He clicks on the link and nothing happens.
Click on the link and nothing happens. Okay. Well, we'll double check that. We'll check the links and see if we can figure out what's wrong. They've been working, so I'm not sure. Honey, do you want to, can you check those links right now?
Check them.
But you have an account already, so I don't know.
Yeah, if I check the link, it'll take me to it.
If anybody in the chat who is on Volley or MeWe can check those links for Ken, that'd be great. Just make sure they're working. It might be something on Ken's side that's keeping it from working. Oscar's in the house. Good evening. Kenneth says he loves Volley. Yeah, Volley is wonderful. Volley, it's video-based chat basically, and it makes having these kinds of conversations, the kinds of conversations that we have all the time, where we're talking details, we're talking procedure, we're talking, technique and technology. Just being able to do it with video instead of typing it, man, it sure makes the conversations go quicker. You get to use more detail when you're typing out a chat in a chat room. You're doing your best to condense everything that you're saying, so you're not typing out this big long paragraph. But in Volley, you just kind of chat, and we try to keep our chats like 3 minutes or less, and you can usually pretty easily get everything you want to say in 3 minutes or less.
A lot quicker than typing.
Yeah, a lot quicker than typing. Uncle Charlie's going to run some all grain today. Awesome. We're going to do some all grain next weekend. Jason C, I'm running and watch. Awesome. Just checking the MeWe link in the description. It works. Okay, Dex, thank you very much for checking that for us. So Ken, I'm not sure what's going on, but apparently the link is working. So
this room smells like feet.
they're working for Lance says they're working for him. Thank you, sir. The rum I made the other day smelled like feet. That made me feel good. So, Space Ghost says you need a login for MeWe. So maybe that's it. You've got to, if you don't have an account, you do have to create an account. It's really simple. You just got to give them basically, I think, either an email address or a phone number and like a username. So just try it again. Now it's say I need to download the file. That is really weird. It's not even a file. So try this, Ken. Are you on laptop or are you on your phone? Which okay, so we're going to worry about this a little bit, and then we're going to jump right into it. Ken Harris, I'll work on it. Phone. So try long pressing on the link, copying it to your clipboard, then going to your browser, pasting it in the browser window. Try that and see if it works.
Download the app from the Play Store and log on there.
Yeah, you can download the app from the Play Store too. That's right. Okay. All right, we're going to jump in here. So we've got these jars here. These are the cuts I made on the run the other day. And I'm going to start putting these together. So like I said, yeah, you can adjust the camera to whatever you think is best. Babe.
I don't know if you want to show it or not, because you could see it.
Yeah. Okay, so jars 2 through 6 are definitely going in. The tails came after this. This definitely tasted really sweet. It was pretty awesome. So in our MeWe group and in Volley, we've been talking about Sweetwater and how to find it. And for a couple of years, I've looked for it, but for some reason, some information I got along the way years back or whatever made me think that the Sweetwater was found in like down at like 20 proof, 40 proof, like way down into the tails. And so that's where I was always looking for it, but that ain't where it's at. It's right between the end of the hearts, just before you get into the tails. And so jar 6 was really sweet. So that was awesome that I found that. What we're concerned about is jar 1. So another thing that I did when I was making my cuts is, you guys let me know, like on Brandy, do you end up with more heads? Because I kind of made my cuts the way I normally would with my grain mashes. And it seems like maybe there were more heads in this batch. Is that... do you just end up with more heads when you run a Brandy? That's my question. But anyway, I probably should have made smaller cuts going through the heads, because this jar number 1, it's a bit sharp. It's a bit, I don't know, like there might be some heads in it. I think it is getting into the hearts, but I think I might have included some of the heads, which isn't a big deal to me. Like I'll add that in if I feel like it after I taste it. So what we're going to do first is we're going to blend jars 2 through 6 in this 1 gallon jug. And we're just going to start that right now. There's the so this is jar 6. And I don't know how much this is going to end up. I'm sure this gallon jug is going to be plenty for what we're doing. If not, then I messed up. But I do have some half-gallon jars here if we need them. Did you sip it on that? Did I leave some in that jar?
You left a drop for me. That tastes pretty good.
Yeah. I'm just going to hand you all of this. And we're not going to be using any of it.
First time in your live stream. I've enjoyed your videos. Thanks for the great content.
Chris C's in the house. Good morning. Uncle Charlie says, did it puke? Was it milky? No, no puking. Yeah, it's nice and clear. I don't know if you guys can tell on the video, but it's really clear. Chris C, good morning. First time in your live stream. Have enjoyed your videos. Thanks for the great content. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And we're getting more and more people from the Moonshine for Beginners community starting to make videos. And so there's going to be it's not just going to be me making the videos. There's several people in there. We've got Old School. He put out his first video this last week. It was a big hit. People were loving it.
I said maybe it ran a little hot, but it was low and slow.
I'm sorry, what?
Maybe it ran a little hot.
Yeah, I mean, I was running it a little bit faster than I normally would, but I wasn't running it too hot. Okay, so about half a gallon.
Pretty slow.
Yeah, about half a gallon. That's good. So we're gonna. This has been breathing now for 48 hours, 2 days.
Was it 2 days ago we did
2 or 3 days ago when I ran this. It was Friday, right? I don't remember. So it's been breathing.
Yeah, it was Friday.
Already the sharpness that was there when I ran it doesn't smell like it's there.
Joe Stillwater said that there's more ethanol in the heads than his brandy runs.
That doesn't taste near it. Now that's a higher proof, so it's got a little bit of a sharpness just because it's, I don't know, that is like 140 or something like that. So it's got a little bit of sharpness on the back of the throat, but it's not near as stringent as it was when I was running it. So what do you think? Do we add this in, babe?
Yeah.
Do you want it? Yeah. Okay.
That tastes good.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, now I'm gonna put the lid on that. I'm gonna shake it up to kind of mix it up real good, which it's probably pretty well mixed. And then what I've got to do is I got to pour it back out into my half-gallon jugs just so I can measure how many milliliters I've got, because I'm going to need to know the volume so that I can temper with my juice to get down to a specific, we may need one of those jars over there, hon. So down to a specific proof, and I'm going to show you guys the math and how to figure that out here in a little bit. So my jar has milliliters on it. So if I fill it up to this top, you guys probably can't see it, but there's a top little mark up here. That's 2,000 milliliters if I fill it to that. So and then we're also going to proof this because we'll need to know what the ABV is of this to do our calculations. So we're gonna know the ABV and the volume, and then we'll be able to calculate how much of the cherry juice to add in order to get to 80 proof, 80 or 90. And I didn't think about it. I should have filtered this. We normally use a charcoal filter to filter everything. Didn't think about it. It's really too late, so I'm just going to run with it. So I'm not gifting this to anybody, but
me.
Gifting it to Winsong. Okay. Okay, so there's 200 milliliters, and I'm just going to make a little note back here, or 2,000 milliliters. And I'm terrible with my metric system, but I think that means 2 liters. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong about that, but 2,000 milliliters is 2 liters. Is that right, or is that wrong? we're not going to need that third one. That's not as much as I thought it was. Okay, that comes out to, I'm going to call that, let's see, there's 500, that would be 750, or no, that would be 550, that would be 570. I'm going to call that 575 milliliters. Okay. And I should have brought my turkey baster so that I can get this on here. Yeah. Dex says 2,000 milliliters. Yep, equals 2 liters. Okay, thank you, Dex.
You're looking at that, it looks straight. Looking on the camera, it looks that way.
This looks like, we'll call that 118 proof.
Seriously, on film, that looked like it was really leaning.
Yeah, I can see it. It looks like it's leaning. That's funny. So the camera's tilted, but that's all right. Okay. So, let's see. Uncle Charlie says, when I do filter mine, I do it right after I cut it down. When any oils come out of the suspension, also helps if it's cold. Yeah. Thank you, Charlie. There's more methanol in fruit brandy than grain alcohol. Yep. I have heard that. You know, I was talking about a video in the Moonshine for Beginners group that Still Behind the Bench did about methanol and about your 4 shots. And I did some more research to kind of corroborate what he was saying, because what he was saying was always taught about methanol, and about methanol comes off your still. So I'm going to do a video actually about his video, because I think it's important, because most of us have been taught wrong about the 4 shots and about methanol. And so it's important that we have the correct information. And this is specifically if you're running a pot still. If you're running a reflux still, it's pretty much what we've all been taught. But if you're running a pot still, it is probably not what you've been taught. So I'm going to do a video to bring attention to that, and link to Still Behind the Bench video where he explains everything in, if you're familiar with Still Behind the Bench, it's very scientific. So anyway, enough about that. Okay, so now we've got our math, and I think I'm going to shoot for, I was going to shoot for 90 proof, and I think I'm going to drop that to 80. And the reason is because the proof came out to 118 instead of coming out to around 125, which is what I was aiming for. So I'm just going to go over this this method for, how do I set where y'all can see everything? No. How about if I just stand out of the way? Okay, so
You lift it up.
This is called the box method or the square method. I think there are some other names for it too, but it's really simple. And so
Denzel is here.
Denzel's in the house.
Denzel, sorry.
A being the strongest ABV, so that's our Brandy, which is the weakest ABV. So if you're blending two alcohols and one has a higher proof than the other, this is B is the lower, and for us it's the juice, doesn't have any alcohol in it. D will end up being how many parts of A that we want to use, and then E will end up being how many parts of B that we want to use. C is our target proof. So I'm going to put 80 in there because this is what I'm going to be aiming for. I'm aiming for 80 proof. And let me grab my eraser so I don't have to use my finger.
Can y'all see that okay? Does it need to be enlarged?
A is my 118 Brandy. B is 0. So my D is going to be C minus B. So D is 80. And then E is 118 minus 80, which is, what is that, 38?
That's good. Awesome.
Okay, so for every 80 parts of D, which is the 118, we want 38 parts of E, which is the cherry juice. Now, you can get as exact as you want with this. I don't worry about exact very often. And so to me, the math looks really easy if I turn 38 into 40. So I'm just going to make it 40 because the math becomes so much easier. Now it's 2 to 1.
How that makes my head spin. I'll just go by taste.
So we had 2,575 milliliters of 118 proof, and let's see, that's we're going to call that 2.5 liters. So that's 2 parts to 1. That means 1 1/4. We're going to add 1 1/4 liters of the cherry juice, or we can call that 1,250 milliliters. So that's how we're going to do it. 1,250 milliliters of cherry juice coming up. So did I blow through that too quickly, or was everyone able to follow that pretty easily? And now I'm kind of hoping it all fits.
I tilted it down so it doesn't look like you're pouring it on the table.
Okay.
I said that for Joe.
Said that for Joe. All right. Now, we're going to pour this in. Ooh, it's going to be close.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty.
Gonna be close. Well, yeah, we're going to make it. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh, that smells good. Okay. do you want to grab us a couple little bitty jars? Those little jelly jars?
You want the half pint or pint?
Half pint's fine. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, they're no longer back here.
Still behind, Joe says still behind the bench is great. Really is. Like, I'm not as sciencey because I don't have the capability to be, and he's super smart and explains things very scientifically, which I like to get that. Let's see. Dex says good morning, old school. Okay, can see fine, good. I don't think I'm too far back. Iowa Freethinker says, yep, the run's coming out smelling like paint thinner. Dex says, Iowa, sounds like 4 shots in heads. Might have waited too long to distill it. Sounds good. I can see. Okay. Now we're going to proof this just to see where we are. And remember, there's sugar in this now. So the hydrometer reading is going to be slightly off. So, you know, all we can do is just kind of get a real close ballpark about this. And maybe, let's see if I can do this without spilling. Okay. Okay, so it says we are at 70. That's 75, I think. Not bad. So, wait a minute. That's not what it said. $72 is what it says. Now, again, like I said, can't really trust that. Huh?
Trying to get.
Do what?
I was trying to straighten it up. I think it's just on film that it looks funny. Because
Yeah,
looking at it, it looks straight.
Okay. So I missed my mark maybe
straight
by a little bit because it's at 70. It's not at 80. But then again, like I said, we've got sugar in there. So we can't fully trust the hydrometer because the sugar will actually make you have, it will make the hydrometer read low because the hydrometer will float because of the sugar, float higher than it should. So who knows what the proof really is, but for me, that's close enough to what I was aiming for. I'm not worried about it. You know, if I was a commercial distiller, I would have to get it just right. And there are ways you have to redistill. There are things to do to get right to where you want. But we're home distillers. We don't have to worry about that.
Joe says, I can see. Oh, don't that look pretty?
So we're going to give this a little taste. Let y'all know what we think. Okay, here you go, baby.
Oh, you gave me the smaller one.
Well, there's more. Okay, let's see what we got. Really good smell.
Half a cup of sugar and it's perfect.
That really is good. That really is good. Just a, you know, I could sip on that by itself. Just as a, you know, with a cup and a little bit of ice in it. I could sip on that just like it is. But
Kim
that would
says
also,
I've been nipping already.
uh, yeah. So yeah, that's really good. That I think, man, if I had a little if I had a little 1 gallon oak barrel, I might throw that in it for a little while. I bet that would be good too. Anyway, so that's how the
Oh,
frozen
Dex, it's better than it looks.
that's how the frozen berry came out. So if you weren't here for that live stream, this was just a very simple frozen berry brandy with mixed fruit from the grocery store in the frozen section. Actually got the recipe, stole it from Randy over at Stillworks and Brewing, and that
I
was
hope you thanked him for that.
I did, yeah.
Good.
And so yeah, that was turned out really nice. I'm really impressed for as simple as that recipe is. That turned out really good. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. I think you'll like it. So we're going to set this down here out of the way. All right. Never seen the box method used before. Very cool. Yeah, it's the easiest way to do it. It's also the least accurate. There are other ways to get closer. If you're mixing two alcohols, or if you're mixing alcohol and water, it's hard to get it exact because of the different things that happen when you mix alcohol and water.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Water and alcohol? No,
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
using water.
Yeah, we don't usually proof down with water. We don't temper with water, but you know a lot of people do. But when you do that, different things happen to the alcohol, and all your readings go crazy. Your math doesn't work, and but anyway, yeah, the square method is really easy to use, and you know for me it's close enough. Like I said, it's not fully accurate, but it's close enough for me. So. Dex says it looks really good. It is. That was really good. I can almost taste it. Looks great. Thank you, Art. Gonna have to try it. Sounds good. Yeah, Andy, give it a shot. There's Bob. Bob's in the house. Looks yummy. Or Rob. I'm sorry. Rob, not Bob. And, Rob, yeah, we're gonna finish the Wort chiller. I know you were excited to watch me struggle with that copper, but, you know, I did all that off camera. And for those of you that don't know, Bob redid his copper worm. I think you went from 3/8 inch to 1/2 inch, and said he struggled with it all day getting it to work right. So I know the feeling. Like when I was doing this, I abandoned the form that I had that I was using to wrap. That I was using to wrap the copper because it just wasn't working. And then I also abandoned my 5/8 copper bender because it kept getting stuck, and so I ended up just freehanding this, and it worked really well right up until the very last, and I almost kinked it. I think it's still going to work, but if it doesn't, I'll just cut it off back here and redo it. But I think it's still going to work. So we're going to do this. Sorry, Rob, you don't get to watch me struggle. So let's see. Our free thinker says, I think my still is too full and it burped up through the arm into my worm. Seems to be cleaning up, though, was really milky white. Yeah, if you run it hot, you always run or if you run it too full, if you don't have enough headspace and you're running hot, that really increases your odds of puking. So that sounds like that may be what happened to you, Iowa. Okay. Still an old school says, cut it off and solder a 90 elbow on it. That's how I do mine. Yeah, we're gonna do some elbows. The kink isn't that bad. I think I'm gonna leave it. I really don't think it's gonna be a problem. But I've got some elbows. So this is actually the top. So I'm going to put an elbow there. I'm going to put an elbow here. And so I'm going to run the copper lines up here and here. And I'm going to put my fittings. This is my 1/2" to female adapter. And then I'm going to screw in my 3/4 MIP to 5/8 garden hose fitting.
Chris said it looks great.
And then I've got these little plastic garden hose fittings with the hose barb on it. And then I'll connect directly to my hose. And I didn't have enough fittings. I thought I had 2 more elbows. And so as I come up, I was going to elbow over. But for now, I don't have my elbows. And so I'm going to have to get them. So I'm just going to run them a little tall and later cut it and add the elbow. So that's what I'm going to do just to get this thing done and usable until I go get some elbows. So that's my game plan, y'all. You want to hand me that copper pipe, Mama? Thank you. And so I'm going to, once again, as I do, I'm going to eyeball this. Windsong is distracting me. So I'm going to put this one right there. I'm going to cut that right there. What's the advantage of the larger diameter pipe? There's more surface area, so my guess is I can cool the wort down faster. And it's my guess. I don't know how correct I am in that, but I think it will cool more efficiently because of the extra surface area of the copper. You can use a small pair of pliers on the elongated part of the bend. Yeah, okay. And slowly work the kink to more round. Yeah, I might do that. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Art is telling Iowa it depends on what mash you're running. Roy Boys V says, if I distill my banana brandy through my pot still again, will it make it smoother, or is that a myth?
It'll be stronger.
Running multiple times through a pot still makes it smoother. I don't know about that. I mean, I think that is probably just a matter of how your taste buds work. But to me, the more I don't know, I want to say the higher the proof gets, the more pure it gets, the less smooth it is, to me, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to say. But, you know, I know a lot of people that do multiple runs, get higher proof, use heavy reflux to get high proof, and then temper down with water, and it's smooth. And I think some of that might have to do with aging. But, you know, all of this stuff really just comes down to your preference and what it is you like. And it's really a game of experimentation. Try this thing, try that thing. And then you find out what it is that, pardon me, you find out what it is that you like best. And I think that's the name of the game. Okay, so there's what we got. Oh, I missed that, didn't I? I think, should I make that taller? Maybe I should have made those longer. What do y'all think? I've got I've got 3 different size boiler pots that I mash in, and I want this to work for all of them. I should have made this taller. This isn't going to work as well in my 30-gallon boiler. So I'm going to swap these. I still got plenty of pipe, no problem. Rob Stagg says, sweet. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do right here. That gives me plenty of length, and you know, I can cut that off later if I want. So we're gonna get to doing my beautiful soldering. I know you guys are jealous of my soldering.
Did you feel that thunder laughter when you said that?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I forgot to grab my my vise, that blue vise at the bottom there in the closet.
Give me a second to get over there.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome, Roy.
You gonna let me clean this up before you put it on there?
No, it don't need to be cleaned up.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. Okay.
I'm sorry I hit that cord.
It's all right. We got cords strung all over the place in here. Make sure everything stays charged. We got 2 phones going. We got a laptop going. Jay Fisher says, have you covered soft versus hard drawn for those with little copper experience? I have not. And so, honestly, I have very little copper experience. Well, I have a lot of experience. I just have never had anyone tell me the right and wrong ways of doing any of it. So, kind of self-taught and don't know the difference of the hard and soft, although I suspect maybe you're talking about, you know, you can buy it in the sticks or you can buy it in the rolls. Are you saying there's a difference in how you should be soldering? Dex says, I would try tossing in a part or 2 of butter, and you've loaded the steel. Butter helps keep foam down. Correct, Dex. Good point. I'm running right now. I'm going to shut it down and try it. Okay. I'm going to get all of our pieces cleaned up. We got 40 people in the chat. 18 thumbs up. Thank you guys for the thumbs ups. Did anybody that's watching, did anybody do their own version of the frozen fruit brandy yet?
Still Works in Brewing is here. Said hi.
Hey Randy, what's up, brother? Did you we did our blending and everything with the frozen berry brandy. Did you miss it? Okay. Jay Fisher says no difference in soldering. Okay, cool.
He said he did.
Rob, I'm going to try the butter thing. Chris, got to run. See you later, Chris. I'll catch you next week, brother. KC Moto, I had 10 gallons of fruit-based meads that made up my first run. That's awesome. Jay Fisher says, huge difference in plumbing. Yeah, I imagine that's probably right. Probably not a huge difference, though, in making distilling stuff. Art said, I've done a few fresh banana brandies a few times. Cool. Old School says, hey, Randy, nice to see ya. You did catch the blending. Cool. Cool. Hey, I was gonna ask you, Randy, did you do any aging with any of that you did? I was thinking maybe putting that in an oak barrel, or maybe just put some staves in with it to age it a little bit. What do you think? Jason C says, I definitely want to try the brandy. You absolutely should. It really tastes good for such a simple recipe. It's well worth the time and effort. Okay. Get this first piece sodded. Huh?
He said no, he didn't, but wishes he did.
You wish you did age it? Okay. We may try some. We may try that. If Mama doesn't decide that that's just hers, we may try that. Oh, I didn't get a wet rag ready.
How about a wet paper towel? Would that work? Someday I'm going to come up with some kind of fireproof conditioner for your beard. That worries me.
I can always make more. You're right. I don't think this worked. What? Sure as hell didn't. Damn. Let's try this again on the other end. Not sure what I did wrong there, but we're going to clean it up and redo it.
Hopefully somebody saw it, knows, and can tell you.
Yeah. And he says, good morning, Randy. I don't have to repeat everything? Okay. All right.
Hi. Jason said leather beard apron.
Leather beard apron. Hey, that would actually look kind of cool, wouldn't it? May have to think about that for a little bit. Rob's blueberries on day 31 still working.
Yay.
Chris says point the fitting down so the solder will flow down into the fitting. Okay. That's what we'll do.
That does kind of sound like common sense, dear. Wake up.
Well, I always thought that the heat just draws it in anyway, but I will certainly point it down. Since I've admitted already that I don't know what I'm doing, I will take advice. Ken says, funny, James.
But he meant Jason.
Maybe meant Jason. Is there a James in the house?
That's who he's talking to. Your beard apron.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Jason's running into the same problem. Well, I knew I wasn't the only one. Oh, where's the dry piece?
Oh, hell, my coffee's cold.
I found using just enough flux and wiping away the excess once the pieces are fit together helped with my soldering. All right. Well, I do wipe away. I'm going to tilt it just slightly down because the problem I've run into is if I point it too far down, that as I heat it up, that flux turns completely liquid and then it falls, the fitting falls off. So maybe point it down that far. Let's try that. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yep. Huh? It definitely worked.
Turn around and look at it. Right there.
Right there, she says.
Fix it.
I don't see any holes.
What a whole mess.
Oh, the mess. Yeah, I don't worry about the mess. Not worried about the mess. Okay, that one worked. Thank you for the tip. Now let's get the shorter one done. So with the finishing up this worm this week, next week we're gonna do our all grain on next week's live stream, and we got some pretty big announcements coming. I think give you some teasers. The admins and especially Iron Duke. The admins and Iron Duke in Moonshine for Beginners group have been working on a Q&A document, and right now it's several pages long, like 40-something questions of the most commonly asked questions about distilling. And we're creating a document for it that that we're going to make downloadable. We're going to create a page on the Still in the Clear website that you can go to and read the questions and the answers. We're also going to create a downloadable PDF that you can just download and print or keep on your computer, whatever you want to do. and we'll probably put it in the files section of the Moonshine for Beginners group so that you can reference it there. And it's really a great document. I'm really proud of those guys, and special thanks to Iron Duke. He kind of like spearheaded that whole thing and got it accomplished.
And Debs for putting the
And
together.
Debs, all the admins. Thanks to all the admins for doing that. But and then we've got that, and then we've also got. Well, I don't remember the other thing I was going to say. Oh, we've got an event coming up. Don't know exactly when yet. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Let's see. I found just enough flags. Looks good. Don't cut yourself short on doing things.
Still Works and Brewing is leaving. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Having dinner with the family. All right. See you later, Randy. Thanks for dropping in. So when you run all rye, add butter to it. Help with the distilling. The butter helps with the foaming, and that helps with rye also. You can also, if you're doing all rye, maybe use husks because of the thickness, because of the sticky goopy. Okay, let's get this one soldered up. That looks good. I think I might also leave this. I might leave the tops today because I might change my idea about how I'm going to connect the hoses. I'm not sure. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But now.
I want to get breakfast.
Yeah. All right. Let's see how we're gonna manage this. So this one is the bottom.
That cherry juice was definitely the right choice.
That's really good, baby. Yeah, really good. Okay, that's going to fit in nicely. Let's get these cleaned up. Oh, I was talking about the next event that we haven't announced yet. But one of the admin groups has been working on just something that we can, get together with especially the beginners to help them get their first mash going. And what they've come up with is a group mash. We're all going to do the same recipe using the same ingredients as close as we can get on the same weekend, mash in all together at roughly the same time. And I'm going to do it on a live stream. And then, that way people can feel like they're mashing in for the first time doing an all grain. It's actually kind of a hybrid all grain recipe because we're going to use a sugar safety net just to give the beginners a little extra confidence, and just to make it easier in case things go wrong with the conversion. They're still going to be able to make, something to drink. And we're going to do this all at one time. And I think we're probably 3 weeks away from doing that, 3 or maybe 4. I've got a document to get put on the website, and get all the organization together. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're calling it Monster Mash 2022. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So look for announcements about that. And we'll do an all-grain mash together, especially if you have never done an all-grain mash. This is kind of an intermediate step between going from sugar wash to all-grain mash. And I think it'll just be a lot of fun if we're all just kind of doing it together at the same time, doing the same recipe. We can compare notes, and if people are having a problem with something, we're there to help. People are going to be there in the group that have done lots of all-grain mashes already and can help people if they run into some problems. I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think about that. And next week, I think we're just going to do a regular corn and barley all-grain recipe just for the live stream next week, just for fun. And we're going to use our new
Startled me for a second.
I got something in this week that I want to show you guys that we're going to use in next week's live stream. And honey, maybe you grab it for me.
What?
My 2 new little jars of enzymes up there, bottom shelf in that cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got our high temperature liquid enzyme and our GL amylase. And the first time I saw these in action was watching Wayne Herbert do an all-grain recipe with these, and they worked so good. I decided I was going to have to get me some, so they finally came in this week. So next week during the live stream, when we're doing our all-grain mash and we're using our new Wort chiller, we're also going to be using these awesome liquid enzymes. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, don't miss next week. It's going to be a fun one, I think. Okay. We got that all together. Let's see if I can prop this up somehow. Oh, I know what I can do. Ouch. I think this will work. Well, somehow I gotta get this to prop up good for me. There we go. No, don't get dadgummit. I probably should have thought of this beforehand, but I didn't.
Message held for review.
There we go. Okay, that'll work. And we want it pointing down, or at least mostly down. And that looks mostly level. Good enough.
Widen your vise and put the long piece on the bottom.
Widen your vise and put the long piece on the bottom. Well, I'm not sure what you meant, but this is working, so I'm going to roll with it. Okay. Okay. All right, that's looking good. Looking good.
Patting yourself on the back there?
Yeah, done good on that one. Okay, and this one's gonna go her. Rock her.
Richard Rush has a question.
Richard Rush says, I have a question for more experienced. If I'm making a 15-gallon sugar wash and wanted to substitute corn syrup, how much corn syrup would I use? I don't know. I don't know the ppg of corn syrup, but you can Google that. It might be on the ppg chart on stillintheclear.com. If you go to stillintheclear.com, you can find a ppg chart, and that stands for points per pounds per gallon, which tells you how many gravity points you can get out of a gallon of corn syrup in a gallon of water. Maybe somebody in the group knows it offhand. I don't. But what you're looking for is ppg. And I've also written an article about how to use ppg, how to do the calculations. It's really easy. It's not complicated if you've never done it. If you've already done it and know what I'm talking about, then I'm just talking. But that's how you figure that out. Komodo says 42. Okay, so you're how many gravity points are you wanting? Like what kind of ABV are you looking for, Richard? We could probably sit here and figure this out just while we do this. If you know what kind of ABV you're after, that tells you how many gravity points you're going to need for the recipe. Once you know how many gravity points you're going to need for the whole 15-gallon recipe, then you will divide that by 42, and that will tell you how many pounds of syrup to use. And I think I said that correctly. If I messed that up, any of you guys let me know if I didn't say all that just right. Because sometimes when I'm
one-track mind.
Sometimes when I'm doing something and trying to talk at the same time, my mouth does not keep up with my brain. It's just how it goes. How's the sound today? Everybody can hear me okay? I guess so. I haven't heard any complaints about sound quality today.
A lot better than some where their brains don't keep up with their mouth.
Got 47 people in the chat. All right. Thank you guys for all the likes. We're at 33 likes. Appreciate it. Isn't it normally 2 pounds of sugar per gallon? Richard, it just depends on what is your target gravity points. What is the ABV you're after? Because you can use 1 pound of sugar per gallon. You can use 2 pounds. You can use 3 pounds. It depends on your target. How strong alcohol are you trying to make? And if you've got your triple scale hydrometer, you don't even have to do the calculations. You can just look at your triple scale. Your triple scale hydrometer will have a alcohol ABV, potential ABV, and you find that side of the scale, and you look for the ABV that you're after, and then you roll the hydrometer over to the scale that says that is the specific gravity, and that'll tell you what you should be targeting with your specific gravity. Then you can use PPG to figure that out exactly. And I actually just did a video on the PPG. I wrote an article on the website. I did a podcast episode, and I just finished the article, or not the article, the video, I'm sorry. And it's going to be released Tuesday, I think. I think I've got it on the schedule for Tuesday. Okay, let's see how we're going to do this. See if we can keep this at least close to straight. This side over here. Okay, I want it to stay like that.
May I hold it?
Let's rub this around. Nope. Okay. Open that up. See if there's another one of those clamps in there. Yeah, right there.
I don't. I'm too short.
Okay. Okay. There it is. Nope. Oh, thank you. That's perfect. All right. Lucas says best way to figure it out is to take 1 pound of corn syrup, dissolve it in 1 gallon of water, take a gravity reading. That'll tell you how many gravity points per pound per gallon. Yeah. And, you know, if all this talk about gravity points per pounds per pounds per gallon is throwing you off, it sounds more complicated than it really is. I really suggest watching a video on that. Like I said, we got one coming out Tuesday, but there are several others you can watch.